That's obvious. Most AI in banking today is built on top of third-party models, including OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. Do you think banks are essentially renting the intelligence? Are we going to see in the long term banks going to use open source models or develop their own LLMs because they do not want to be dependent on OpenAI, Anthropic, or Google? Why
I
I'm
think it's
asking
all of
this
the
is,
above, Sam.
yeah,
I think it's
tell
all.
me.
I think the right way to think about this is not to worry too much about what model to choose today. Okay, with AIOS, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that.
Yes,
The way
please.
we think about it is, what is the agent, what is the profile, what is the identity, and what is the unit of work? Okay, and in certain cases, when you're doing ideation versus an agent doing log reviews versus an agent doing reconciliation versus an agent doing transaction monitoring, there's going to be different agents with different profiles and different identities that require different skills, different tools, and different models.
Okay.
Okay, because what you have to think about it is, at the end of the day, there's going to always be organizations like Anthropic and OpenAI and others that are spending a significant amount of money, that have significant amount of compute, that are going to build phenomenal things. Where we are today and where we're going to be in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years from now, that's going to continue to evolve and advance. So you don't
Okay.
want to take a philosophical point of view to say, well, I'm going to build all the models myself. Well, then now, do you have the budget to compute and build on open source, closed weighted models, open weight models? Are you going to do all of that on your own? And imagine this. Imagine if every bank was to do that. Think about the wasted capital from a shareholder value proposition perspective across the industry versus reimagining the work and only consuming the models that make sense for the work tasks. We should not be in the business of creating the robots. We should be in the business of consuming and orchestrating the robots. Coming back to the analogy of a supply chain of a factory, um, if you think about Toyota and you think about many of these other organizations that advanced their manufacturing over the past 40, 50 years, they didn't go and say, we're going to be the robot manufacturers. They partnered. There was an ecosystem of providers, right?
Right.
And my perspective on this is, I think most financial institutions, the vast majority, I would say 98% of financial institutions, banks, and other organizations should strongly consider using them all, but using them all in a very controlled way where you have auditability,
Mhm.
transparency, and visibility to what the models tied to the agents and the profiles and the identities and the work tasks that are being executed, where we have transparency of that. And that's where the model cost orchestration becomes very important. If I have a task where I'm simply looking at logs, should I be using Opus 4.8? No, you should not be, right? So that's the point that we're making, that you need to use a combination, but route the right work for the right model, whether it's on-prem, whether it's in the cloud, whether it's a third party. You should have maximum optionality as an organization to be able to do one or any of the following.